Welcome to Lunch with the Author. I'm your host, Walter Martin, author of the book The Devil's Deceit and producer of the upcoming movie The Devil's Deceit.
Some say the greatest trick the devil ever pulled on the world was making them think he didn't exist. The truth is, making the world believe he was their friend was his greatest trick. You can run from the devil all you want. But in the end, he'll just keep pace with you until you get tired. Then he'll have his real fun with you.
My guest on the show today is Robert Whedbee, a Knoxville native who made national news in the 90s after his wife and her lover tried to murder him in his sleep.
In 1994, his wife Lisa was having an affair with Michael Frazier, a mutual friend from church. The two attempted to kill Whedbee, but didn't succeed.
Today I'll be taking my guest to Kopita, located inside the Embassy Suites Hotel in downtown Knoxville, where Chef Chicago will prepare us a traditional Mediterranean meal.
What's going on, man? I'm Chef Chicago. This is our spot right here. We just moved in here about, let's say, 2.5, 3 weeks ago. We used to be across the street, but this is like 3 times bigger. So I'm gonna show you guys a little layout right here. So you see this is all our stuff where we keep all our dry goods and stuff. We got a huge pit area over here. This is my friend Lisa over here, and that's Jess over there. We got a lot of equipment to work with. All right, come on over. So this is the layout of the kitchen right here. This is where I keep all my cold stuff. We always, our boss, the owner here, his name is Avi Zanetti, best guy you ever want to work for. And he put this place together. I've been with him for almost 3 years that I moved from Knoxville. I was born and raised in Greece, came here to Chicago way. About 49 years I lived there. Then I came here about 3 years ago. So I'm an old man. We're gonna keep that age out. All right, so we got all our bowls and all my spice stuff here. And then if you want to take a picture over here, Joe, this is all our stuff. So this is like banana pepper salad. This is a carrot salad, sweet potato salad, coleslaw. This is an eggplant salad. This is our harissa, chili paste, olives. And then I got shipka peppers here. This is another hot sauce right here. Israeli eggplant. These are pickled fennel with lemon, olives, sumac onions. This is our fresh hummus, everything refrigerated, except like our tomatoes and cucumber. We like to serve those like room temperature. And then over here, you see we got stuff going right here. These are what our falafels look like. We make them fresh to the order. We make everything to the order here, nothing out of a can. These is gonna be my schnitzel. I just made these this morning. Everything is fresh. This is like our Kopita salad in an ice bath. These are the sumac onions again, which I have over there. And then over here, we got our saute station, my convection oven, got a flat top grill. Say hi to my friend Omar over there. He's been with me about 3 weeks and he's amazing. And then we got a nice little overlay look over here. So you can look at the floor, people can come in and when we're doing our magic. It's kind of cool. It's like open a kitchen, but it's not because we got the glass, the window there. And then this will be over here. This is like our expo station. We keep this side off because we like to put the salads here. We don't want them to get warm. The warm stuff will go over here, but it doesn't sit very long. So when we're cranking food out Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, whatever the day may be, our busy days, that's our busiest days. We like to have everything clear. People get their food. It doesn't sit but a minute or two. We take it out fresh. All right, now I'll be out there in give me about 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna put some food together for you, some pita bread, some salads, some schnitzel, some kebab, and then I'll explain everything to you as I get out there. Let's do this. All right, let's do this. Here we go. All right. First of all, I'm gonna start you off with some homemade pita bread that comes straight from Israel. Nobody's got this stuff like this. Then I made you guys some schnitzel, hand-breaded every morning, Mr. Walter.
Schnitzel.
I think you and your guest here, Mr. Robert's gonna like this. Then I made some fresh baklava. But y'all don't get into that right away, all right?
Okay.
And then this is the kebabs, okay? And I'm gonna keep going here.
Good.
Thank you, Aisha. So now here, we got some stuffed grape leaves. This is all vegan, by the way. Everything is vegan except the chicken and the meat. Even the baklava is vegan. This is the hummus, ground chickpeas, right? Now this is the baba ganoush. This is made with a roasted eggplant and a bunch of different herbs. This is my pickle stuff right here. Those long little chili peppers right there, they're called shivkas. These are, I get those from Israel. The olives, they have pits in them. Those come from Israel, and so do these. These are Israeli eggplants. Now this is just a simple coleslaw, but kind of Mediterranean style, but I use veggie mayo again. Now this is my eggplant salad. And now everything, again, Walter, you know, you've been with me for almost a year. I've known you. Everything is fresh, nothing out of a can. And this chicken right here, if the Colonel could make chicken like this, or like me, I should say, he'd have been a general. Okay?
No, that's right.
You guys go ahead and enjoy yourself. I'll be back later, okay?
Thank you
Any
so
questions,
much.
sir? Let me get you guys a couple plates and you'll be all good. Thank you.
So if you're just tuning in, we're here with Robert Whedbee, and we're here to talk about his book, Rude Awakening, authored by Sherry Ann Martinez here. We got an interesting situation going on in this one here, this show. Mr. Whedbee, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the book.
Well, I'm born and raised in Knoxville. I'm an insurance agent by trade, and I wrote this book about a chapter in my life that was not welcomed or planned.
Right.
It was a attempt on my life one evening by my ex-wife, of course, ex-wife now, and her lover, basically.
And the lover, you say, so she was having an affair.
Yes, sir.
Were you in any kind of way aware of this affair going on?
I suspected it, but she talked me down off of it.
Right. Because you'd been with your wife for a very long time, correct?
Around 13 years at that
13
point.
years. 13 years. So in this time, I'm guessing that, okay, she'd met a guy in the book. I've read it. It says she met him in the church, correct?
Yes, he was the church organist and choir director in our church that we
So that makes the story get even deeper, huh?
Yeah.
So you bring that into it, and it's like, okay, what do we really got going on? So,
Yeah.
so do you know how long the affair was going on before this incident?
The detectives determined they felt like it was probably between a year and 2 years.
Wow, a long time.
Yeah, a good while.
That is a very long time.
A lot of planning apparently went into it, and a lot of premeditation.
So it's safe to say that she was living a double life herself.
Absolutely.
Absolutely living a double life while planning and trying to attempt on your life.
Absolutely.
Okay, have you seen your wife since the court incident and all the TV appearances and everything?
No.
And one would ask, just naturally, if there was an attempt on somebody's life, why, right? Why did this happen? Or is there fighting in the house? Is there anything? I didn't really get that from when I read the book. From what I got is they tried to make it feel like you were the villain at one point, right?
That's correct.
So elaborate a little bit on that. Well, how did they try to flip this on you after obviously trying to kill you? And we'll get to how they tried to do it in a second. And it's an amazing story, but when the news cameras got down here and got into court, they tried to make you the villain. How exactly did they paint that picture of you?
Well, they painted me as an abuser. And
An unusual attempted murder trial involving an award-winning reporter who's accused of attempting to murder the husband of his lover. Yesterday we brought you opening statements from a prosecutor, Assistant District Attorney Joe Helms, who told this jury that this was a case about lust and greed in which Frazier, the defendant's desire for this woman and for an insurance policy held by her husband, inspired her to attempt to murder her husband. The defense opened saying that this was a man who had been lonely all of his life and had been misled by things told to him by his lover, in which he had indicated that this woman had been abused by her husband for many years.
And she came up with the defense, the 101 abused woman defense, although there was absolutely no evidence of that, and it was certainly not true.
Absolutely.
It's criminal defense 101. Apparently, whenever a woman commits murder or tries to commit murder, that's what they go to. That's the go-to thing.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah, just Law 101. But to me, it's not Law 101. It is my life. And it worried me at first because of my business connections and my standing in the community. But most people did not believe it because there was no evidence of it. So it made it a tough sell for them. But I guess it's all they could think of to try, Walter. You know, I'm not saying I'm perfect. You know, nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
I didn't show up. Here's the way I explained it to the DA and the detectives. I said, listen, because when they, you know, when they're working on a case, they'll come to the victim and ask them, hey, what's going on? You know, what skeleton is going to drop out of this closet when we get into this? Go ahead and tell us now if there's anything, you know, we need to know.
They want to go ahead and
we're
get
going
it
to find
filed,
out.
because we're going to find out anyway. And
We're going to find out.
yes.
And I said, the way I put it is this. I said, listen, I'm not perfect. Did I always show up with candy and flowers at the right moment? No, I didn't. But I can tell you this much. I never did anything to deserve to be killed for. I can tell you that. A cut down to the bone in the thumb area there, and I had one earlobe split.
Whedbee says his side of the story never came out in court.
Felt to me like I was being put on trial. There's so many twisted and sordid details, you got to read the book. I mean, there's just way too much to talk about right here. It's just chock full of twists and turns and ups and downs and surprises, and, you know, the people that you would think maybe were virtuous, honest, whatnot, the clergy even, were not. They were not.
At all.
At all.
Did you know the guy she was having an affair? Did you attend the church as well?
Oh, absolutely.
So you knew him?
I knew him for over 10 years.
You knew him very well. Wow. Was he ever a visitor at the house? And
Absolutely.
Things like all the time, huh? So he had very, very close connection to your wife for that to even, you know, they knew each other very well. He kind of knew how you moved. He knew your ins and outs and things.
It was June 8th, 1994. Michael Frazier, a writer for the Oak Ridger, spent hours hiding in Robert and Lisa Whedbee's house.
He waited wearing a Phantom of the Opera t-shirt and gloves, holding a butcher knife, and that's what Robert Whedbee told me he woke up to see. Definitely a rude awakening.
Okay, so
And he was married, and, you know, I didn't have any reason to suspect anything.
Right.
I did get someone, a family member told me that she had seen them having lunch, and they seemed like maybe they were a little closer than just friends. There was nobody else with them, that kind of thing. I knew they were friends in the choir and whatnot, but...
Did she sing in the choir as well?
She did.
Okay.
And he was married. She was married, you know, and, you know, Walter, I just don't really think like that. You know, if she wants to have lunch with a guy that she's been friends with for 10 years, you know, I don't care. And, but I had gotten a little tip on that, and I confronted her with it. I said, Lisa, you know, I heard something today that it's concerned me a little bit. I just wanted to ask you about it. I heard that so-and-so, and I really don't want to use her name, had seen you and Michael having lunch and thought you looked a little bit a little chummier than, you know, maybe would be expected. And you're alone.
Right.
No other choir friends or anything else, just you two. And she looked at me and she laughed, and she said, Rob, she said, nothing against Michael. You know, he's a great guy. But if I was going to cheat on you, don't you think I could do a little better than Michael Frazier?
That is quite funny if you read the book.
And that went right to exactly what I would have thought.
Yeah.
Because
he was a different type of looking guy. He was awkward.
I don't mean any disrespect for looks or anything else, but Lisa was very big on looks and appearance.
Right.
And she would never have been caught dead with a man that looked like Michael Frazier. I mean, he was a good guy. I thought he was. He was an intelligent man, but he did not look.
He didn't look the part.
He did not.
And it was the perfect play almost. It was almost like the perfect camouflage.
Perfect.
Get the guy who nobody would think.
Perfect.
And he'll pretty much. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the book actually touched on that he was willing to do anything for her. So
one of the detectives said it like this. He said, Rob, so I'll explain the book. He said, we've seen over and over again.
Seen it.
She let him bat out of his league. And then she hit, because I was asking him, how do you get someone to do something that
heinous,
especially a guy who I would have considered not even capable of anything like that.
You never know, huh?
And he said the way that sold his play in the book's the way he put it. He'd been a detective for many, many years. And he said, you know, the names just change. It's the same game. You know, you get a woman who's got some evil in her. She lets a man, quote, bat out of his league for a while. And then she hits him with these things. And right away, he doesn't really want to do it usually, but he gives in because he doesn't want to lose that batting order. He's never had it before. And he's like, oh my God, you know, I've struck gold here. And then she keeps raising that ante, you know, what he has to do to keep it. And it can go right on up to murder. And that's where it went.
So,
but she was participating in the murder attempt.
you most definitely don't see a lot
She
of
was there
affairs turn
in the bedroom with a bat. She was participating.
So I didn't want to allude too much to it in the book, but we'll give you a little bit of a clue. So when he realized that his wife was trying to kill him was the moment that she did not help you, correct? So that's a dead giveaway. Like, are you going to just stand here and watch this man try to kill? Oh, wait a minute. That you're waiting for him to kill me, right?
I don't want to give too much away.
All right.
That's basically accurate. And that's actually part of the title of the book, Rude Awakening.
So you were awakened. Now, we don't want to give away too much about it, but he did try to attempt to murder you while you were sleeping,
With
correct?
a knife, yes.
Now, if you look at the front of the book, everybody, you'll see a man in a room coming down with a knife.
It's accurate.
That's about as accurate as it can get right there, right? So, when you were fighting him, you say, we've spoken before, and you were an athlete coming up, right?
Yeah.
So football, a little bit of baseball, this and that.
Basketball, boxing.
Most importantly, boxing, right? You know, in football, you got a lot of body hitting, and, you know, then you go back to the huddle, and, you know, you get your break. Boxing is more, you know, you got to breathe, you got to hit, you got to grapple and things. That saved you that night, didn't it?
I believe it did.
I believe it saved you. You know, you went straight into instinct, didn't you? And rather, would you say you were scared or just instinctual that night?
Walter, I really, you know, I don't want to come off as, you know, Billy Badass or anything.
No, it's just fine. You did your thing.
But I don't think I had time to be a whole lot of anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that instinctual part of being a boxer. I mean, there's a lot of pushing and shoving and grappling. It's not just throwing punches, it's defense. And, you know, a lot of people would not be comfortable with that close body contact that was occurring. And it didn't freak me out to the degree it might have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when this happened, let's be honest. You come from the butt whooping era, right?
Yeah.
The Stallones, Rockies, and you know you got Arnold Schwarzenegger. You went straight into Terminator mode, huh?
More or less.
It had to happen, right?
Yeah.
So you know you were able to get out. You're able to get the police there, rouse up some neighbors or whatnot, and then we're in court all of a sudden. So when the police came, right? Did your wife end up trying to play victim instantly, or did you let them know? Hey,
both. I let them know
that they're both trying to kill them.
She played victim. Yeah, both.
They both played victim?
No, she did.
So
both of those things happened.
Yeah, and you let it be known, no, both of them. She's trying to play victim, no officer, they're both in on it. So did they arrest him both at the time?
No, he was gone. He ran off.
He got out of there, huh?
Yeah.
So this is a dark room that this happened to. You knew it was him, though.
Oh, I heard his voice.
You know it was Michael.
He spoke to her.
Ain't no doubt.
That's when I knew, without giving too much away, that's when I knew definitely they were together.
When did the police go get him?
They got him the next morning at his apartment.
Did he confess? Did he just go straight into like, yeah, I did it?
He ended up going to trial. He wrote it all the way out. He never confessed.
That didn't play out well for him, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. I feel like he got much lighter sentence than he deserved.
For an attempted murder of somebody's life.
Yeah.
In their home with their kids in the house. You figure that would be a lot more time coming to this individual, right?
I would have felt like it was attempted first-degree murder.
So this was all over the news. It's been
everywhere.
Almost 30 years now, right?
It was in 1994. So what's that, 28 years?
28 years. So we're 28 years out. Do people still associate you with this story a lot when they see you out, or is it just kind of been brushed off a little bit?
They do. Older people do. Younger people never heard it. Probably.
Right. So it'd be kind of cool if it got revamped after this book right here, and it was a movie made that the younger generation could actually kind of relate to what's going on now, but still kind of put your story with it and kind of get like the best of both worlds. So you're actually in production for a movie right now, correct?
That's correct.
And that's with Double J Productions, right?
Yes.
And that's Jeff Jocelyn running that guy.
That's right.
If you're not familiar with Jeff Jocelyn, he's already been in a string of movies. I'm talking big blockbuster movies. As far as all the way with Tyler Perry and Medea's Witness Protection?
Yes.
Do you want the story back out? Do you want people to know that you want this to be known? Obviously, because you have a book, but you want it to be. You want awareness on it, huh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. It's a good story.
I do.
It's when I tell people about it, they're like, they'd actually, and it's like, I'm wearing a Scream shirt, you got the slasher movies and things, but I'm sitting here with somebody who was actually in a slasher movie for every bit of 5 minutes, And I like to tell people, in life, you're the director, the writer, the lead star of the movie.
Right.
You were just in your own action movie that night, huh? Just
I was.
in the moment.
I was in a nightmare is what it was.
Truly a nightmare.
living nightmare. The reason that I wrote the book and I'm interested in the movie is I believe that it can help some people that are in a bad situation to realize that they do need to get out, sooner than later, and that if they do go through something as traumatic as that, they can still achieve and they can still have a good life.
All right, so here we go. Now we're going to talk about the baklava.
Okay.
You know as well as I do, you've been with me for about a year, right?
Yeah.
We've known each other. So a lot of times, sometimes it's triangle, sometimes it's square. I even roll them up sometimes, but I got a lot of layers. I do walnuts and pecans. This is more traditional Greek baklava. And then I make my own syrup with the sugar and a little bit of honey and a little bit of orange juice, fresh squeezed. And then I put all my love in it. I can't tell you everything because if you make it at home, then I'm gonna be out of a job.
And I won't see you anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So now you guys go ahead and take a bite of that and let me know what you think. Go ahead, Mr. Robert.
Do we need a fork?
No, sir, this is hand food. I think we've already been through that course. Hand food, baby. Just let's do this.
Excellent.
Have you had baklava before?
I have.
No, you haven't?
But not like that.
I'm telling you, you haven't.
That's good stuff. I can't quit eating.
Which one, the coleslaw?
All of it.
It's good stuff, man.
What about something like this?
Says he can't stop eating. It's good stuff, Kopita. Chef, Chicago, you the man. Get all that. Behind the stage.
That was actually pretty good.
Pacemaker roll just now?
The pacemaker?
Pacemaker roll just now?
No, that's a pacemaker doing his thing.